And we are live. We are live with something so special that I know is going to be of high interest to everyone that is watching now or on replay. Welcome to this very authentic and very unique space and place where my running partner, Talia Miranda, and I are going to unpack what it's like to be a Florida licensed real estate instructor. So, welcome to this new space and place. And we're designing this because we are on a mission to bring everything that we're doing to our Southwest Florida real estate marketplace. And, everybody knows the market has shifted. Everybody knows that we are, in uncharted waters for many. And I said, why not share what my life as a Florida real estate license instructor has been like, and what a better way to diversify your money making opportunities, a better way to leverage your experience, your years of trajectory. And there's so many questions that I know people have that Talia said, let's bring a real, what's it like a day in the life of a Florida real estate instructor Q&A. So welcome. Drop your comments as you join us and put a hashtag live if you are watching live, or put a hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. So let's kick it off. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Dalia. Everybody knows you, but just in case.
Yes, well, I'm Thalia. I am the Business Development Director with Q International Experts and agent mentor with the Southwest Florida Real Estate Business Academy. And look at us, 2 days in a row going live on StreamYard, talk about massive action.
And
and then
that's what it takes.
Yes, and then we're gonna go live again in at 12 o'clock with Agents in the Trenches. So, if you're watching, definitely mark it on your calendar right now from 12 to about 12:45. Just put it in there. We're gonna be coming live again, but this is gonna be a good conversation. There's a lot of questions in regards to the how to become a Florida real estate instructor. What does it look like? And yeah, this is what it's going to be about, is just unpacking that and answering your questions. So if you have any questions specifically that you want to know, go ahead and comment below. But let's unpack it a little bit, Lucy. So you talk about first the academy, right? When did it launch and how did that come about?
Wow. So believe it or not, the Academy was launched in 2020. And it was really, now that I look back, it was really that holding pattern. It was that holding, you know, path where once I transitioned from being a broker owner at my previous franchise and not wanting to disturb the company, right? Because my partner stayed behind. He said, "You go. I mean, this is your time. This is your moment." I didn't want to disturb the company. I didn't want to take agents with me. I wanted to leave. Have you seen those movies where Navy SEALs come in, kind of like Rambo, and they're like swimming under the water, and they do it so subtly that nobody even knows there's anybody swimming under the water. So that's what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to transition quietly, ethically. I wanted to not disturb anything that had to do with my, former company, because obviously my business partner was staying behind. And um, I launched the academy. And one thing that I have to tell you, and maybe if you're watching us live or on replay, I want to tell you, if you're listening to this, life is sending you a signal. Because Talia, life sent me signals a year before I even thought I was going to transition from, my ownership at Century 21 with my partner. And it came in the shape, or the, let's just say, in the way of me starting to bring in other real estate schools into my office to offer the licensing class. And I brought in several companies. I'm not going to say names because I'm not here to make publicity for anybody, right? But I brought in several,
Okay.
and I would have to do the legwork of filling up the class. So here I am. I'm like, okay, hold on. So I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the legwork, I'm bringing the students, I'm providing the location, I'm making sure these people pay, I'm doing like 100% of everything. And then the instructor is showing up like, superstar to conduct the class, and they're making, the money. So then I started thinking, well, how do I do what they did? Like, how do I do what they do? So I started asking the association, hey, what do I need to do to become an instructor? And they gave me this whole, spiel on I had to go fill out, I don't know how many applications with the Florida Association of Realtors. And then I had to go audition. And then I had to go to the FAR conference and I had to be selected. And I'm like, oh my Lord, I don't have time to do all that. But I kept asking and I kept calling the association. And then finally, I asked one of the instructors that came in, I said, so how did you become an instructor? And that's where I want to start. You know, a lot of people don't know how to become an instructor. I didn't know how to become an instructor. So, long story short, here I go. I become an instructor. Now I'm told there's no classes on how to become a Florida licensed instructor. There is no course, but you're supposed to either have a bachelor's degree in law or in real estate. I'm like, well, I don't have that.
Mm.
Or you need to go sit for the broker state exam. Um, and I'm like, okay, but what do I study? And they were like, well, there's nothing for you to study except you need to know how to pass the Florida broker state exam. I'm like, oh my Lord. The academy was birthed with a vision of taking agents beyond the licensing, right? Because I said, I've already been coaching and training since 2012. This was 2020. I said, nobody's teaching agents how to make money in real estate. Everybody's teaching agents how to get into real estate, but that's not the end all. So when I launched the academy in 2020, the vision was agent development for agents, business development for team leaders and brokers, and business coaching for anybody that wanted to really build up their business. So if you're an agent and you want to start a team, most people don't know how to start a team, right? They don't even know what works, what doesn't work, what should I do, what shouldn't I do. So I said, all right, I've already done that. So I can teach people how to go from being an agent to being a team leader, and I've got a whole arsenal of experiences and lessons and systems and playbooks that I've put together. And then I said, but then if they ever want to become a broker, right? How do you grow your company? How do you run your company? One thing is to sell real estate, and it's something totally different to run a brokerage. How do you build production for your agents? Because if you have agents as a broker and they're not producing, now you're really the broker, right?
Yeah.
So that was the vision of the academy. However, while I got all that up and running, I had to learn how to, give the classes for the 63-hour, for the post licensing, for the pre broker class. Long story short, I never thought of opening up the academy because remember, life gives you signals. So here I am a year before. This was in the beginning of 2019. And I'm saying, how do I go get my Florida license instructor? How do I go get my Florida real estate license instructor's license? And I had to go sit for 4 days at one of the schools and get like a crash course, the state prep. And then I had to prepare, and I went and I took my broker state exam again to now become a Florida licensed real estate instructor. And now that we're in this market, I said, hold on. Nobody has to go through all the headaches I went through. So long story short, I became an instructor. let me finish this part. I became an instructor, and it was because I said I'm going to start teaching the classes instead of bringing other schools. I didn't have a school. I didn't want a school. I didn't want anything to do with opening up a school because I didn't even know how to open a school. Forget about, having a school. I had no idea how do you open up a school. So you know what I did? I've always been very resourceful. I think you know that, right?
Yes.
I've always been very resourceful. I've always been very witty. I've always been very astute. So I said, okay, let me find a local real estate school that will let me hang my license and will allow me to do my own classes in my Century 21 company. And I remember I woke up one morning like at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know why God always wakes me up like really early to think, right? And I started Googling schools, and I text 4 schools. I text 4 people. I called 4 people. I left a message at that time. It was like, by then it was like maybe 5 in the morning by the time I found them and decided who I was going to call. One of them said, call me back. Listen, I actually don't have the school in your area. I'm on the East Coast. The other one was out of business. They said, actually, I shut down the school. The other one never called me back, but there was this one person that called me back. And I said, look, this is going to sound crazy, but long story short, I just got my Florida real estate license instructor. I just got my Florida real estate instructor's license, and I'm looking for somebody to foster me. That's the word that I used. I'm looking for somebody to foster me so that I can give my own classes. And lo and behold, this person said, yes, I'd like to come meet you. This person came and met me. We spoke. I told them, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I've been doing. Da, 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 da. And this person said, yeah, I will help you. I'll support you. I'll show you what you need to do to give the classes. But that was not for opening up a school. Fast forward a year later, I've now transitioned from my Century 21 company. And what am I going to do now? After walking away from everything, I opened up an academy, the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy. So here we are.
Wow.
That's a little bit about that story. So, and
That
now
what a story, huh?
I'm telling you, I need to write books. That's what I need to do.
Yes. So let's back up a little bit. Because this was I was asked this question a couple times of people who were interested in taking getting their license. They asked me, they're like, do you need to be a broker to take the to go for the license? So what do you have to say for that question?
And that's such a great question. Do you have to be a broker to go for your Florida real estate instructor's license? Actually, I was a broker, but the law does not require you to even have a real estate license.
Wow. So anyone walking out of the streets can come and become a Florida real estate instructor, not even having sold a house before, nothing.
Everyone and anyone in the real estate industry can become a Florida real estate instructor licensed person. You don't have to have sold a house. You don't have to have a real estate license. You don't even have, anyone, right? Anyone that has a passion for teaching. Now, I will tell you, you need to love teaching, right? You need to love teaching. You need to really see this as an opportunity to diversify your income. You need to have a heart for serving, right? But I think most people in real estate have that. So for example, if you're a mortgage person, an insurance person, a surveyor, an appraiser, if you're a teacher, you can become a Florida real estate licensed instructor. Anybody can become it. Anybody. And that's why I said in this market, because listen, people see the glory, but they don't know the story. I have two instructors. That are really special to me because they've been walking this journey with me for the last 3 years. But I was looking for more instructors, And I'd been looking for the last 2 years for instructors, and I'm like, nobody wants to teach. They have their license, but no, I'm not teaching now. No, I don't have time. No, I stopped doing that. No, I'm not into that anymore. No, I'm into something else. I'm like, oh my Lord. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to curate my own instructors. I'm going to have to go find people, share my story, help them, mentor them, coach them into becoming rock star instructors if they're going to align with me, right? But in the meantime, I'll share my masterclass with everyone and anyone. It doesn't matter. You don't have to come work with me. But obviously, that was the initial intent, was for me to find really, well curated instructors.
Okay, so if somebody is interested and they want to know what the first step is, right? They're like, okay, that sounds great. I don't have to be a broker because I'm not, but I do love teaching and want to spread my knowledge and help people out. What would be the very first step for them to take to push the needle forward?
So, they can just, so they've got to, they can just contact the DBPR like I did and say, what do I need to do? And they're just going to send you a link and you're going to be like, huh? I don't even know where to start. Mind you, I had been in real estate already for 19 years, right? Started in the year 2000, and when I looked into becoming an instructor, it was 2019. I'm like, oh my goodness. The first thought I had is I don't have time to figure this out. And because I didn't want to face the music, that's why I would bring other schools into teaching, because I don't have time for this. But hey, you can reach out to the DBPR, figure it out on your own, go do your own thing, whatever. However, what I've done and what I would recommend everyone and anyone that's really serious about doing this and wants to get to their licensing faster is watch my free webinar. I created a free webinar where I break down what we're doing, why we're doing it, where we're doing it, and why, and the how to do it. Watch the free webinar. And if it's something that you feel that you really want to pursue, then you can join my masterclass. So I curated a masterclass where now I take you behind the scenes with me. And we go really deep diving into, okay, not only what do you need to do to become a Florida real estate licensed instructor, but how do you do it? Where do you go? What do you study? And I just put together a study resource, right? I just put together fresh out of the oven, like freshly baked bread. It even smells good, right? Put together a study resource that people can utilize. And then I walk you through the process. And then I also, in my master class, I, open up my treasure chest and I say, look, these are the opportunities that I'm providing for people that align with the vision of the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy. We've got several different opportunities that exist. And then I even go a step further and I said, okay, and this is what I offer you as far as mentorship if we decide we're a good match. Okay. So I will actually mentor you into becoming a rock star instructor by demonstration. I will show you, I will bring you into one of my classes. And then little by little, as you're ready, I will teach you how to build your class. I will give you the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s dissected, broken down so that you can get to where you want to get to faster. So what's taken me a lot longer because I had to figure all this out on my own, I put it together in my master class, which is the beginning. And then after that, the mentorship comes in. And then after that, there's other opportunities that exist for those that really align with the vision of the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain just a little bit, and I want you to touch on those opportunities because I think that's also important for people to know, right? Because maybe someone coming in, they're like, okay, I can be a Florida real estate instructor, I can teach the 63-hour, pre-licensing course, but there's more to that, right? It's not just that. So can you just really quickly maybe touch on the points, and then if they want to know more, then that's when we can direct them to just a replay, right, on the intro of each one, because you touch on them briefly, but let's just pull back the curtains a little bit. What opportunities lie in them taking the master class and moving forward with becoming a Florida licensed instructor?
So I'm so happy that you're touching on that, because when I did my very first intro back in October, right? Because I'm like, I have to find instructors. So when I did my very first intro, I had a lot of people that said, oh, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in becoming a Florida real estate licensed instructor. And I shared, okay, here, join my master class. And this is what I'm going to do. A couple of them said, well, I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm just going to do it on my own. Right. And I said, okay, no problem. But then there was a group that said, okay, Lucy, we are going to be part of your masterclass. Now, here's what I want to tell you. Only the people that take my masterclass will be part of my mentorship, or will have an opportunity for me to coach them into success. You got to have some skin in the game. We've got to be partners from the beginning. So this is not open to just anybody that goes and gets there, because I don't know, I'm building a relationship. I'm looking to build a strong community of instructors. So once you take the masterclass, and again, this is what I'm going to share right now, is only and exclusively to those that take my masterclass, because this is where we are beginning a partnership. We're curating a relationship, and I really want you to grab the vision of the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy. And so that's what I'm delivering to you: the how, the what, and the why we do what we do. Now, once you get licensed, and I have to say this, I already have a licensed instructor that has joined us, and yet the people that said they were going to do it on their own still haven't even started. So a lot of times you're wasting time by trying to save some money. And I'm not charging $2,400 for my masterclass, which I should, because anybody is going to be able to learn how to make, $20,000 a year. You're going to have a, 500% return on your investment. It's $249. I mean, so in my mind, is if I'm going to teach someone a whole new career, and I'm going to mentor them, and I'm going to open up all my resources, my knowledge, my experience, my trajectory, and give them the opportunity to, grow with me, and give them everything already put together, I think they need to invest $249. Okay. So that's what the masterclass costs. It's not $2,400, even though it's worth more than that, right? We all know nowadays you hire anybody and they're charging $2,900 to teach you anything.
Right.
So the opportunities that exist for my instructors after they take the masterclass is you can work hourly, right? So right now, everyone in the local traditional schools, they don't have these other opportunities. They don't offer them. I'm a visionary. I think big, I dream big. I want to do things that are authentic and out of the box. So all the other schools, the only thing they offer is, okay, come teach and we're going to pay you hourly. And then I said, you know what? That's good, but I want to make it better. I want to make it better for my, my instructors. So the next level is becoming a brand ambassador and an affiliate of the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy, which means that I give you the opportunity to get profit sharing from the academy, right? And then number 3, I also have an opportunity for you to, if everything sounds right and it makes sense, and we design a game plan for reaching this level, you can become a satellite operator of one of our Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academies, and then you really, take advantage of the revenues. Yes. So those are the 3 ways: hourly, a brand ambassador, or a satellite operator.
I love that. So my first thought is, okay, most of us, right, we get into real estate because we see maybe a future in potentially investing in real estate, right? creating maybe passive income, or just opening up multiple streams of income, right? So going back to what you're saying, it's time to diversify, right? It's time to add
Yes.
to your tool belt. So I think that, this opportunity really, I mean, it just opens up so many other doors for
Mhm.
someone that's in the industry, or even if you're not in real estate, and maybe you're an inspector or an appraiser or whatever the case may be. Like, this is a way for you to, be in front of more people and just share your knowledge and your expertise. So i
Right.
think I think that's incredible. I think that anyone that's interested and wants to learn more, the very first step that you should do is click on the link that I put in the comments. That's going to take you to our replay for the intro. Okay. And then watch the intro. And if you want to, take it to the next step and actually take the master class, there's going to be information there as well. We haven't announced the next one, but we will pretty soon, right, Lucy?
Yes, we will. The first thing that I want to tell everyone is get off the fence. Get off the fence. Look, I can tell you for a fact, like I've seen this because even one of my real estate agents back at Century 21 was an instructor at one of the local schools. And I remember her telling me that she had become an instructor. And I wasn't even thinking of becoming an instructor, but I remember that conversation because, again, life leaves signals. So if you've got questions, drop them in the comments. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. I just saw that. Maybe she's still there, maybe she's gone, but good to see you. Get off the fence. We are living right now in a market that's going to require immediacy. I don't know if you guys know what the word immediacy is. It's not very common in our industry, right? Like, I'm sure you've heard people say, common sense is not very common. Well, immediacy is not very common in our industry. But, you know, if you're in real estate, directly or indirectly, I didn't say if you sell houses. I did not say if you list and sell houses. I did not say if you have a real estate license or a broker's license. I did not say that because you don't need any of that. But if you are directly or indirectly in real estate and you want to diversify and you love teaching and you love serving and you want, to just, I don't know, Talia, you've seen me teaching a class. You've seen me teaching many classes. Does it look like I love what I'm doing when I'm in there with that packed room of students? Give me your perspective. Let me turn the tables around. What have you seen and how have you seen what I do behind the scenes, right, at the academy?
I mean, you glow. You're like literally glowing when you're in that atmosphere. Like, you can tell you're passionate about, what you're doing, what you're teaching. And, I think, I mean, people see Lucy, right? And they see many, how do I put this? Just like taking it behind the scenes. I mean, I think from my perspective, and when I see you in this atmosphere, I mean, I can tell that you're made for that, right? Like, you're made to teach people, and you're made to, just share your knowledge. And I can tell it by people's faces as well when, they're hearing you, they're learning from you. It's like they feel comfortable. Everybody loves you after the very first session, right? So, I mean, it's such a good experience to watch. I mean, I can also say when I first met you, I met you in that atmosphere, right? I was invited to one of your sessions that you were doing where you're training, and I'm like, wow, like, this woman's on fire, and
Mhm.
I want to be like her. So it's like, I mean, it's a different kind of Lucy, I think.
I love it. And you know what? I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed. Number one, that you're part of this journey with me. So kudos to you. Kudos to you for your loyalty and for your desire to grow. A lot of people, here's what I've noticed. A lot of people, either their ego gets in the way, like, oh, I don't want anybody to know that I don't know.
Mm.
Or a lot of people have that Lone Ranger mentality. You know, I used to be one of those Lone Ranger mentalities. That's why I can speak on that. And I can tell you that I'm so happy that I changed my mentality, right? And that now I am open to learning from others. So, yeah, I don't listen, it doesn't matter to me whether you do this with me or without me. But I am here to tell you that getting your Florida real estate instructor's license is a door opener. I
Mm,
mean, it has
yeah.
opened so many doors for me. Now, one thing that I can guarantee you is that you can get to where you want to get to faster by joining forces with someone like myself. Because again, there's no other real estate academy. Well, there's no other real estate school. Let me say schools because that's what they call themselves, or education centers that are giving this level of opportunity. And people may say, and why are you doing it? Because I believe in growth. I believe in growth. I believe in empowering people. My mission in life is to be a person that encourages other people to reach for the stars, to find their biggest and greatest potential, and to develop it. I'm a product of that. I had somebody that did that with me for 20 years. I don't know where I would be if I had not stayed in that path.
Mm,
So the first thing that I can say is get off the fence. Get off the fence. This market, you could write it down, you could write the date, the time. This market requires immediacy, you know? So if you have questions, reach out. But let me tell you, I love what I'm doing through the academy. And we have not even scratched the surface. Like we are just literally, I mean, getting started. Because here's the other part. And what I told our most recent instructor, which came on board, she took the master class and now she's up and running. And I said, look, do you know that absolutely everything you have ever taught other people for free, everything that you know, everything that you have learned, I want to help you package it and monetize it. So the days of doing things for free don't have to continue. You can literally monetize everything. And the beauty is that our industry needs it. We need a lot of education for our local real estate um, associates. There's agents that are struggling and suffering because they don't know how to leverage um, the resources that they have or that they need. We have a lot of agents that want to become team leaders and they don't know how to get started. People think here's and that used to be me. People think that I'm going to go get a broker's license, I'm going to go open an office, and now I'm successful. You could do that, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be growing, that you're going to be profitable, that you're going to be having productive agents. That just guarantees that you may just go broker. You may just go broker. And I see people that go up, open up offices, hire agents, and then that's it. If people want to grow, they have to go. And that's why I'm saying our area needs great educators. So I know I'm on a mission to build the most, rock star instructors. I want to teach this and everything we do in Spanish. So if you're a Spanish speaking person, that's an advantage. We do our classes in person on Zoom. We've done it all. I've done it all. I've been through hell and back in the last 3 years. So now I know how to get to heaven, baby.
I love that. And I think what's really unique about the academy is because we see a lot of people packaging their stuff, right? Packaging their courses and, their expertise. And a lot of it ends up being like, they record videos, replays, and stuff, and you're learning from a screen. I think what's unique about the academy is that's a place where you can come in person, right? So once we find these rock star instructors that want to teach right? Teach and really just share their expertise. Like you're going to have that opportunity locally to come in person, right? Forget about the screens. I mean, it will be available, in Zoom if that's the only way you can get to it. I know some people have some limitations, but it's also going to be a way for you to come in person locally, to come and hear the instructors in person, see them, feel them, like if you have questions, and just it's a different kind of environment. I mean, it's incredible. So
It is.
before we wrap this up, Lucy, I don't know if you want to announce, right? I know we're talking about the instructors, but let's talk about the people who maybe are interested in becoming a real estate agent. The Academy is having a course, a
Yes.
63 licensing course coming up really soon. So,
Mhm.
do you want to share the details of that really quickly before we wrap this up?
Yes, actually, let me say this, and I want to say it really loud for the people in the back of the room. Everybody should have a Florida real estate license, whether you use it or not. Okay. This is the moment in the time for you to really start thinking about, financial legacy. Listen to me well. Financial legacy. And the real estate license is something that can help you reach that. I can show you how you can position yourself for financial legacy. Is it going to be easy? Nothing in life that's worthwhile is easy. So we have a class starting next week, right? I think next week at this time I will be teaching.
Yes.
I love when these people walk into the room and they walk in as strangers, and on our graduation day we are friends, right? So April 18th, next week, we're starting a 63-hour pre-licensing course. Once we hire more instructors, then I'm going to be teaching more classes. That's the idea, that we can serve our community even more, that we can help more people in our community go from, maybe their real estate license to their post licensing to their broker's licensing. So yes, it's going to be a 6-day course. We're cramming it all in. My classes are very, very, very dynamic, interactive, high energy. It's a very boring subject. I will tell you the truth. If anybody has taken their um, real estate licensing course, it's a very boring, very monotonous, because it's stuff that we just have to learn. But I mean, I don't know. Our classes are always dynamic, interesting. We do breakouts, we do group sessions. So everyone should be getting their Florida real estate license. Oh, but Lucy, I don't want to leave my job. You don't have to leave your job. Once you're licensed, I can show you how you can leverage your license to make additional income. Oh, Lucy, but I can't do it full time. You don't have to be full time. I can show you how, once you have your license, you can position yourself to do anything you want, however you want. But the first step is you've got to get your Florida real estate license. And everybody should do it. Listen, every mortgage broker, insurance person, I mean, I have business partners that are attorneys, CPAs, nurses, teachers, cosmetologists. Listen, my cosmetology friends, I'm going to give you a heads up. When the market tightens up, when the economy tightens up, people stop going to do their hair. They start doing it DIY, do it yourself.
DIY, yep.
DIY, you know, you could get a real estate license and diversify. Barbers, hello, get your real estate license. Um, Surveyors, home inspectors, appraisers, get your real estate license. There is no reason. Police officers, retiring police officers, people from other states, get your Florida real estate license. You can take the class on Zoom. So it's open to absolutely so many different people. But this is your sign. Life is giving you a sign. I am happy to be the messenger with the right message, but it's up to you to take action.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good way to end it. What do you think?
Yes.
Take some action, guys. There's the links in the comments, right? So we have the link for the 63-hour pre-licensing course. If you want to register, there's also the link for the replay, and so you can watch the intro on the Florida real estate instructor. So go ahead. This is your sign, like Lucy says, and take action.
Yes, guys. See you guys in class, whether it's for your Florida real estate instructor's license, but most of all for your Florida real estate license. So you can make some additional income. It's time to diversify. Bye, guys.
Bye.